Welcome into Other People's Shoes. I'm your host, Neil, and today we get to sit down again to speak to one of my former youth kids. Now they're adults. So weird to say and so weird to even experience, but these kids are a long line of kids that I had the privilege of youth pastoring with at a church, and that some are no longer going now. And this is another one of those episodes where I get to talk to a gentleman by the name of James. And James shares his experience on church and kind of where he is now and kind of his journey through faith. So hope you're ready. Hope you're strapped in tight, because here we go.
Hey, come take a walk with me. Not like you used to do. Do something different and put yourself in other people's shoes. Open up your mind and open up your eyes and change your direction, change your perspective.
Welcome into Other People's Shoes. I'm your host, Neil, and we begin our quest again for why people leave church. And so, just like in previous episodes with Gary and Andy, I have the privilege of sitting with another old youth. And it is still weird for me, and I'm just being honest, James, as I introduce you, to look across the table right now and see a man, not a youth anymore. So I was actually sharing this morning with somebody at a church that no matter how old you are, no matter where you go, I will probably always look at you as if you're 16. Not treat you as you're 16, but look at you as if you're 16. So I want to welcome in James. Thanks for being a part of this. I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot of stuff going on personally, and I do value the fact that you've given me some moments today. So thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, James, we're gonna start just right out of the gate. I just like just jumping in like it's the deep end of the pool. You know, no wading in. Just we're cannonballing in, so to speak. So here we go. James, why did you first start coming to church / youth group, and how old were you?
I first went to youth group actually my freshman year down in San Diego, and I met you my sophomore year.
Okay.
In Oregon.
Okay.
And I came because I wanted to learn. And I met a girl at school that went to your guys' church. And that's how I started going.
Kind of the rest is history.
Yeah.
Now, nowadays, I've heard some youth people say the reason why they went to church because we had pretty girls.
I've heard that.
So I don't know if that was necessarily true in your case, but
I started going to church when I was very young.
Yeah.
No history of family.
Okay.
I had the choice, and I first went to hang out with friends.
Nice. So back in the San Diego days, can we look at that for a sec?
Yeah.
Because that's prior to our meeting and prior to our getting to know each other. So talk about those days. What were those days like? Did your parents go? Did they make you go? Talk about that.
I had a neighbor, a friend of mine, who went. He went for fun, and I wanted to hang out with him, so I went. And our parents always gave us the options. Always do what you want. And so I went, and I went at first to have fun, to hang out with friends. And as I kept going, you know, we learned about God, and I just wanted to learn more and more. And I did. And it became a full-time thing.
So would you consider yourself a church kid?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, like, in my household growing up, there was no church. We didn't talk about it. If I wanted to talk about it with my parents, it was fine. But they really had no knowledge.
And they help me out. They didn't go themselves?
No.
Correct. Okay.
No.
That was my memory as well, but again,
I
I didn't know if that was right or wrong.
I was the first one in my family to actually go as the youngest of 6 kids.
Wow.
And I got my sisters to go with me. It was just a life-changing experience. Yes, I'll say girls are always a plus.
So note to youth leaders out there, make sure you have some good-looking girls in your youth group to hopefully draw some guys. To draw some guys in. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so that's awesome. That's
but
a good.
What really helped me though
Yeah.
was the importance of the youth leader, that they were willing to take extra time and help and try to have me understand of the Bible and learning. And I thought that was a big reason why I did stay.
Okay, great. So looking back, again, it's always nice to look back. Sometimes we can learn from our past, and sometimes that helps. So, what's something you learned back then that you're still maybe using today?
Back then?
Yeah, and it can even be San Diego, or even your time in high school.
Through your youth group,
Okay.
a lot different from San Diego. San Diego was a Southern Baptist.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And we were not
You're
Southern Baptist.
non-denominational.
We were non-denominational.
And I
Christian Missionary Alliance.
I've been actually to Mormon, Seventh-day Adventist, Lutheran.
Oh, you've kind of had your
I've had my
kind of
go-around.
buffet almost.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And the one thing I loved about the non-denominational is they're more open
Okay.
to people's ideals about the Bible.
Okay.
And I still use that to this day. When I talk to people about the Bible, I always say keep an open mind about other people's opinions, and I always do. I mean, everybody has a different idea of what something could mean in the Bible, to certain aspects, of course.
Okay, that's good. Did you make a decision in your memory? Did you ever make a decision to accept Jesus like as your Savior?
Yes,
and what was that like?
I did. I was 12 years old. The best friend at the time, the pastor's son, took me aside, and I accepted the Lord in my heart. Accepted that He had died on the cross for our sins, and it was a very powerful moment. Till this day, though, I have not been baptized. I don't know why, just haven't. But I do believe in the Lord and that He died on the cross for us. So
do you think, I mean, not to go too far down a theological path, but do you feel like baptism is necessary in order to have salvation in Jesus? In your opinion?
I don't think it is. I think baptism is a step to cleansing your soul, to becoming a whole new person.
Okay.
And I just don't think I've ever been ready for that.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Okay. So back in the youth days, we'll talk high school days, sophomore days. That's kind of when our paths crossed. So these questions kind of involve that. So what kept you going in those days, to the youth group days, the high school days?
What really helps is just, the kids there. They're welcoming. And then what I really liked about that church was there was a couple of you teaching. So I got different aspects of each teacher. And you guys always made it fun.
I think there was at least 8 of us at a time
Really?
teaching. Yeah, if I remember right.
I was thinking 4, but
It could have been 4, but it could have been as much as 8, maybe as 4 too. But yeah,
and you
But
guys
if you remember 4, that's good.
always tried to make it fun.
Good.
That was important. But you were also teaching at the same time.
Okay. So fun was a big component of
course.
keeping you going there.
We're in high school. We want fun.
It didn't make you feel like school, right? It didn't make you feel like
It
you're
didn't feel
sitting
like
in
we
a
were
classroom.
trying to learn, even though we were.
Right. Okay. So here's a question. Do you currently go anywhere? Are you currently going to a church?
Right now I am not.
Okay.
I move around a lot, and the last church I went to was okay. I just didn't like it.
Fair enough.
And church is very political, so
Okay.
it's something I don't like about church.
Okay. So that was going to lead into my next question: is what made you kind of stop going? Is that the main reason is the
main reason
politicalness?
is probably the politicalness. And where I live, up in Washington, it's really hard to find a non-denominational church. Everybody has a denomination, and I think there's more politicalness in a church, Christian, Baptist, whatever.
So James, when did you kind of, in a sense, stop going? Was it kind of a slower fade, or was it just a?
Well.
So talk
it
about
took
when that journey
So
kind of takes place.
after the youth group,
Right.
after my senior year, I think I went for another 6 months to a year, and I just kind of stopped. And then I went back when I was like 25. And actually, when I went up to Washington, I started going. Well, I'd gone to other churches, but consistently was to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And I went there for about 6 months. Great church, great people, just don't exactly believe in what they believe in.
Okay.
And then about 27, I went to a church for another year. That actually had to do a lot with the girl I was dating. Very religious. And we broke up, and I just kind of stopped going. And I go every now and then. I wouldn't say I actually have a church. I just go to one. I love hearing sermons, and I can also hear sermons online. And
Yeah, back when you were in high school, they didn't have that.
no, they didn't.
I'm going to throw that in there. You threw a little old person joke to me at the onset, so I'm going to throw it right back. That's awesome, though. So that's James. I'm going to interject for a sec because that is so fascinating to me. Your story is, your parents don't go. You get invited by a friend. You keep going because the friend's there, and maybe there's some girls there, which is human nature perhaps. But then you keep going to learn, to gain knowledge, and then you make this decision to follow Jesus relatively on your own, in a sense, without a support system.
I'm
saying like a support
yes.
system at home.
I did have one support system. My brother, when I was younger, he actually, when I was probably senior, he's 6 years older, and he became Mormon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've always been able to talk to him about religion and bounce ideas and concepts against his thoughts. So I'd say that also helped me still want to keep going, was his support. So.
Okay. That's great. But I guess what I'm trying to allude to is the fact that, the two previous youth that I had on had that mom and dad support system. Right? They had their mom and dad taking them to church. They had their mom and dad, in a sense, saying, you're going to go. But you didn't have that.
No.
You had, non-exist. I mean, no disrespect to your parents. They're wonderful people.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are. No, I remember picking you up at times from your home and them waving and going, "Okay, see you later, James." And you're like getting in a car with. I mean, now it's commonplace. We get in a car with strangers, and it's no big deal because we have Uber. But back then we didn't.
Have Uber.
But back then we didn't. Okay, so I just want to say how remarkable that is, and just comment on that. So, do you feel like, and again, high school days, point of reference here, do you feel like the church failed you back in those days in any way? Church/youth group.
And that's the thing. Like, as a youth group and going in that department, I don't think so. No, you guys were so supportive to all of us. I mean, I remember you helping me go to camp when I have a disease. And you helped me bring all my stuff with me so I could go. You guys helped with money. You guys wanted us to have the full experience. Now, as a church, I think a church needs to be more involved with their youth, and I don't think they were as involved.
In your opinion?
In my opinion.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so leading back into this, again, high school time frame, that time when we're interacting and you're part of things, did any leaders or leadership fail you in any way?
I don't think so. I think you guys did everything you were supposed to. I mean, you guys taught us. We learned. We were excited to go. I would say, you know, not everybody felt that way, but that also depends on the person and their life and what's going on. I mean, everybody's different. But as you youth leaders, yeah, I think you guys did a wonderful job. And I mean, still open my Bible till this day because of you guys.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so looking back again, what is one of your greatest memories there?
Oh,
I know there's probably a lot, but if you're going to narrow maybe one or two down, what comes to mind?
at the church?
Sure. Youth group, church, yeah.
I just really enjoyed youth group nights. I mean, you guys always had something planned for a game, but when it came down to it, you guys were serious, and we learned a lot. It was just I was always looking forward to going to youth group on Wednesday nights. That's really what I remember.
That's awesome. And then on the flip side of that, is there anything that you look back on and go, man, I wish that hadn't happened? Maybe your least favorite moment, or if there is one, I mean, I don't know. I mean, is there one moment that you look back on and go, man, I wish we could do that one over again because that was awful? I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I made a fool of myself all the time, so it came natural to me.
Right.
I wouldn't really, nothing really bad.
Okay.
Even if, you guys were stern with us, I mean, there was a reason for it. As you get older, you realize that. So, yeah, no.
Okay.
There's nothing negative.
All right. Okay. So, do you have kids currently?
I do not, no.
Okay. So let's just pretend for a quick sec you do. Okay. You're a dad now.
Okay.
What would you tell your kids about church and going to church and maybe even going to a youth group or something of that nature?
I tell them it's a great experience, as whether you want to go to church or not, it's your choice. But I highly recommend it, and I want you to learn about God, and I am here to talk to you with God, and that it is your option, though. I mean, I don't want to I would never force my kid to do something they don't want to do.
Okay.
So.
You might steer them in that direction, but you're not going to put the hammer down and the mandate down. You got to go. If you don't go, you're going to be grounded or whatever.
Right. I wouldn't do
nothing like that.
Nope.
Okay.
But yes, I would try to steer them in that path.
Okay. So you said you kind of bounce around from churches now. You haven't really found a home. Okay. So, what kind of keeps you maybe from finding that church home or that place where you can call a church home?
I think right now it's because I move around a lot.
Okay.
Even though I live in Washington, I've lived in 5 different cities in the last 3 years, and I want to find something close to where I live. So, I usually find a place there, and I go, and then I bounce to another place. And that's probably the main reason I really haven't found my place. So,
do you feel like that's an important thing to do?
To what?
To find a home, to find that church that you can get that accountability, that community that could potentially support you and help you.
Yes,
not support you financially, but support you spiritually.
A community.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that is important because that is one thing I do remember about going to church regularly to as a youth kid, is that the community was there. So, I mean, as an adult, I don't think I need it per se, but it definitely helps with growing spiritually. What I have a bonus of most of my friends believe in religion, so I mean we have meetings and go over the Bible, and so having them around helps me. That's my community. That's
awesome. Okay.
And I think that's very important to, choose wisely your friends, and I do. And just about every single one of my friends goes to church, and it's an important part of life.
Okay. So James, who or what do you feel like you get your authority from in life?
Get my authority from
Yeah. In other words, who has authority over your life?
me and God. That's about it.
Okay. Okay.
I make my decisions based on what's best for me, and I try. It doesn't always happen, but I do try to base my opinions on what God has planned for me. I go through a lot in life. I have a disease that I have to deal with every day that stops me from doing things that I want, but I always try to make the choice, what does God want that's for you? And so far, it's turned out good. I struggled, I'd say, after youth group, about 20 to 23. I had a lot of problems dealing with my dialysis and just trusting God. It was a big problem for me then. But I came to learn that it's in your best interest to trust Him and just try to follow His path. I mean, I'd say everything that's good that's happened to me is because I made that choice. And when I was younger in youth group and elementary, I made that choice that young. And I wouldn't be here without Him. That's for sure. Especially before I met you coming up, dealing with the whole kidney failure. I went through a lot of problems with that personally. And, a lot of people get mad at God for diseases and issues. And if there's one thing I've learned, you can't blame Him. It's a challenge in your life that He wants you to have. And you got to figure out how to get through it. And I've learned, and amen.
Yeah.
So
James, if we can talk about that for a quick sec, if you're willing. So refresh my memory a little bit, because it's been a little bit. You have one kidney, right?
No, they never grew.
They never grew.
Right.
Okay. I thought you had one for whatever reason. So they never grew. So you're always in this kidney flux of like you said, dialysis, right?
Yes, dialysis 3 times a week.
3 times a week?
Yep. Every morning.
And if you don't do it, what would happen to you?
Eventually I would die in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Wow. And you've been dealing with that pretty much your whole life?
Since I was 14, so half my life now, yes.
Wow. That's insane.
Yes.
Thank you for the reminder on that, because I had forgotten those details.
Oh, okay.
Forgive me for that, but
No problem.
I had there's been some time that has passed.
Yeah.
No,
it's been a while.
It's been a while,
definitely.
right? Okay, so I get a little extra grace there, hopefully. So I've been reading this book currently, and I've alluded to it in a couple of different episodes, and I even alluded to that kind of in our little pre-show talk. But it's this Barna Group study, right? They did a 5-year study on why kids leave church. The book's actually called "You Lost Me," and so on that they give 6 reasons why they think people of your age leave the church. Okay, so I'm curious if you agree or disagree with these, and if you, of course, you want to dialogue with that, we can. But if you just want to say nope, agree, disagree, and these are your opinion,
Right.
There's no right or wrong answer here.
Right.
Okay, obviously, but the number one reason, and they say that people leave the church, is because the church is overprotective. Seems overprotective. Would you agree with that or disagree?
I would agree with that too. Depending on the church.
Okay.
I know churches have to be protected, period, in
Right.
my opinion. But some take it too far. I know our church, when I was going there, like when Randy started going there, they had a problem with that. I mean, I remember him getting dirty looks and whatnot. And as church members, I think everybody should be open and welcoming. So, yeah, I totally agree with that 100%.
Okay. So reason number 2, and again, these aren't in any particular order. It's not like number 1's the best and number 6 is not. But number 2 is teens and 20-somethings experience of Christianity is shallow. Teens and 20-somethings experience of Christianity is shallow.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. I've never seen that ever.
Okay.
So.
All right. Churches come across as antagonistic towards science. That's a tough word, by the way. I really struggle with the word antagonistic. But I got it out this time, so high five to me.
I mean, yeah. I agree with the statement. I don't agree with why people stop going to youth group because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is if you believe in science, but that's on a personal level.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still believe in science, still believe in God.
Well, and I guess that's where it's coming from, is they feel like if you're a Christian or a disciple of Jesus or, subscribing to that you can't be a science person because science pushes up against Christianity. I think that's maybe where they're coming from.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just that, like, you just can't show it while you're at church, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Young Christians' church experience related to sexuality are often simplistic and judgmental.
I mean, yeah. We're high schoolers. There's a lot of sexual content.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
But, I mean, at the same time, I remember some of the girls, the way they dressed. People were okay with it to a point.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
They wrestle with the exclusion, the exclusive nature of Christianity. In other words, they really wrestling with the fact that Christianity in the Bible's mind, because Jesus clearly says in the Gospels, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. So they are really wrestling with this idea that Christianity is so exclusive, that there's no other way except through Jesus. What would your response be to that?
Yeah, I can agree to that. But that has to... That, I mean, in my opinion, was when I first started going, I struggled with that. But that's why we have youth leaders and the pastor and people to help out, to teach us. And we have to come to acceptance with that. And that's, to me, is just having faith. I mean...
This is the biggest one of all, and it actually is my favorite reason. Yeah, and I'm curious what you think on this one. Number 6, it says, the church feels unfriendly towards those who doubt.
Yes, but I would have to say our church, non-denominational, even with our doubt, was very open to teaching us and letting us have that doubt. So, I mean, and that's where I come across that's why I love the non-denomination church, because they are so much more open-minded about one's views and one's beliefs. Like, I went to a Mormon church. They did not like it when I disagreed with them on certain things. And where I can remember disagreeing with you on certain things in the Bible, to where you gave me your opinion, though. You didn't force it down my throat. You didn't say, this is how it is. This is what you need to believe in. You gave me insight on what to believe. And I still believe that till this day is the Bible. You have, yes, I'm quite sure in the Bible that certain things mean a certain thing, but there's certain sections to where you can take it one way and another person can take it another, and it's all right. I think God is giving us that insight to each person. And I'd have to say non-denominational churches are one of the best for that.
Great answers, James. I like it. So we're going to end with a fun game. Do you like games? You said at the onset that you're a youth guy. Still,
I love
you
games.
like games.
I love games.
We're going to play one more game just for old time's sake. It's a game I like to call Senseless. So we have right here my nice little North Carolina cup, as you might imagine.
That is one
that's
thing
still,
I remember about you.
That's still a thing, as you can tell in the hat.
Yeah,
so
the
it's.
hat.
I wore the hat so you might recognize me.
Just to let you guys know, the headphones are baby blue too.
Yeah, I haven't said that yet, but they are. There's a lot of baby blue that happens with the production. But anyway, we got a cup. There's a die in here. You get to roll it, and based on what you roll, you get to answer this senseless question.
All
so
right.
go ahead when you're ready. You got a 4. Wow. Somebody got a 4 a couple episodes back, so we're good with that. 4. So what's one thing you love to hear?
I love to hear.
Yeah. One thing you love to hear. It could be anything, but you have to be able to hear it. Because again, senseless, we're dealing with senses. It's really lame when I have to explain my own game, but I do it every episode.
There's nothing I love to hear.
There's nothing in this world you love to hear? Nothing at all.
No.
Train whistle. Somebody whispering sweet nothings in your ear. Well, this never happens, but hearing the announcer say the Chargers win.
Oh, ouch.
Sorry.
Let's see. I do. Okay. I love hearing the rain against metal.
Okay. The little tic-tac, 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 tic-tac.
One
Why?
of my favorite. It's very relaxing.
Very relaxing.
So relaxing.
Okay. Well, see, there you go. Love it. Well, James, thanks for letting us walk in your shoes for a moment or so. By the way, what size are they?
10.5.
10.5.
Yes.
Do you have a certain brand that you like? Adidas.
Yes.
Well, see, at least you got a good brand on.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. James, again, thank you for giving us an opportunity to walk in your shoes. And guys, as I say every time, it's always nice to walk in someone else's shoes because you never know what perspective you're going to get.